So we are learning process management, process duplication right now. Today we will see how we'll synchronize the parent and the child process execution together, and we'll also see how the parent process will pause and wait for the child process to finish its execution and capture the exit code of the child process. The parent process must have executed the child process with some purpose. That purpose will be solved only when the parent will be able to get back the result from the recently started child process. Okay. So let's start. Just have a look at this. Suppose you are executing your parent process, okay, and the parent process starts the child process. Suppose this is your parent process. The parent process starts the child process by using fork, and the child process starts here. Child process will continue its execution. Process child. Now, usually what happens if the parent process terminates before the child process, then here the child process tend to become orphan till this point and is adopted by the system D process or the init process that I already showed you earlier. But what we will do today is we'll try to prevent that situation where the child process becomes orphan and there is a need for system D process to adopt the child process. We'll try to take care of that situation and try to avoid that situation by using this. By using a system call called wait. Wait system call. The wait system call will take pointer to pointer as argument. You can see it in the header files as well. USR include. Here you have a header file called wait.h. Syswait.h. Syswait.h. Inside the wait.h you have wait system call. Here it is. Okay. The wait system call. If you see, it takes a pointer, integer pointer as an argument, and it returns the PID of the child process. So, in simplistic manner, you can write it like this: that it takes a pointer, integer pointer, as argument, and returns PID underscore T data type. Okay. Now, what is this all about? Wait system call. About the wait system call, it causes the parent process to pause its execution. Okay. The parent process, when gives the wait call, suppose the parent process gives the wait call here. The moment the parent process will give the wait call, the parent process will pause its execution. So here the parent process will pause, effectively pause, and continue to be in the pause state. Okay. Now this until a child process finishes its execution. Means after which the child is about to become zombie, or the child is about to finish. When the child process finishes execution of all the statements, the child is said to be finished. Then the child will return an exit code. Then the child process gives an exit code using exit call. Call and code. Now, when the child will give the exit call or the exit code, okay, exit call, and it will give some exit code. At this point of time, the parent process will come out of pause. This will cause the parent process to come out of pause. Out of pause, and then the wait call will return PID of child process that just finished execution. I repeat, when the child will give the exit code, exit call, and give the exit code, the parent process that was paused due to the wait system call will come out of pause and proceed further in its execution, and will capture the PID of the child process. This, the return value of PID underscore T. The return value is the PID, that is PID of the return value. PID. Returns the PID of the child process that just finished execution. Okay, it will return the PID of the child process just finished execution whose exit code is about to be captured. Okay, and this is used to capture the exit code. This is the exit code. Pointer to the exit code. This is a pointer to the exit code. This is how the wait call works. Okay. Now, how does the pointer to the wait call work? The argument to the wait call is a pointer. The argument to the wait call is a pointer. And this pointer points to a location where the exit code of the child process is captured. There is some arbitrary location outside of the stack segment, some location where the exit code of the child process is captured, the exit code of the child process will be captured at some location which is not known. This pointer points to that location only. In other words, we can say the exit code of the child process will be returned and stored in the location pointed to by the pointer which is given as an argument to the wait. So we can say like this: the exit code of the child process is stored at location pointed to by argument of wait call. This, where this pointer points, at that point only the exit code of the child process will be captured. Okay, let's try to do this in our program. Here I have a program in which I am doing 4. See this program carefully. Then case 0 is child and case 1 is parent. In case 0 child, we do n is equal to 30. Okay. In case 1 parent, we do n is equal to 15. And then the loop will go on for as many number of times specified by the child and the parent. And the parent is going to iterate only 15 times. After 15 times, parent will come out of this and say parent PID past iterations. You will know that okay, parent is out of loop. If PID, what is this PID? PID is the return value captured from fork. This value will be positive if the fork is executed by parent process. Okay, and here it will come. If PID, this condition will be true for the parent process only, and for the child process this condition will be false. So only parent will go inside this block. Child will not be able to go in this block because for the child the PID is 0. As I told you earlier, wait returns 0 for child. Now the parent gives the wait system call and parent execution pause at the wait system call. Pause. Until unless the child process finishes its 6 iterations, and total number of iterations that will be done by the child process is 30. Then after 30 iterations, the child will also come, child PID, past iterations. If PID condition will be false for the child, so child will skip this block and child will say process child PID terminating. Sorry? Where is RET? RET is acting as a pointer. That is this pointer. It will point to a location in which there is no value initially. When the child process will finish all 30 iterations, the child process will say child PID past iterations. Then the child will check the condition false. Child will skip this block. Child will come here and say child process child PID terminating, and the child will give the exit call exit n. The value of n is now 0, isn't it? Because n was decremented and decremented and decremented and decremented and made 0. So exit 0. This exit 0 will be exited by the child process with the code 0. The code 0 will now come to this exit code location. This is that location which is pointed to by this pointer in the wait. Okay, and will be stored in this location pointed to by wait. Exit code. So in RET you will actually have exit code that we are not printing right now. Right now we are showing that the parent process goes to pause, and then when the child gives exit, it comes out of pause and says PID process parent process PID past wait call CPID. CPID also will print. CPID is the return value from the wait, which will be the PID of the child process that just finished the execution. Let us execute this. Then if you have any questions on this program, I'll take it. Here it is. Compilation is successful and we run it. Both parent and child execute for 15 and 30 iterations respectively. After 15 iterations, parent will be out of the loop. There you see, past iterations. ID 73, parent is done. And parent is now pause, waiting for child to finish execution. Parent is not terminating. Okay, and the child has not become orphan. And after 15 iterations, then child also finishes execution. Then 74 past iterations, 74 terminating, and then 73, parent is still there. Past wait call, and the child PID is collected, and then the parent process, like a responsible parent process, doesn't leave the child process as orphan and waits for the child process to finish its task, and then the parent process collects its child PID, and then the child parent process properly terminates. And see, last class I told you the shell will be hanged. This time the shell is not hanged. ये वाला, ये चाइल्ड है 74, पेरेंट तो यहाँ पे ही हो गया था 73. हाँ, यहाँ पे पेरेंट पास्ट आइटरेशंस हो गया, मतलब पेरेंट केम टू दिस पोजीशन आउट ऑफ फॉर लूप. Okay, then the parent is, after that parent goes in wait and pause and wait, goes to sleep, waiting for the child process to give exit call. echo हो रहा है, फिर से बोलो. नहीं, वो कौन पहले बार रन हुआ, कौन बाद में रन हुआ, यू डोंट नो हु रन फर्स्ट, हु रन फास्ट. According to us, like both the processes are executed simultaneously. Parent came out of the iterations before the child, because the parent was supposed to come out of the iteration loop only after 15 iterations. After 15 iterations, parent come out of the loop. After 15 iterations, because n was 15, after 15 iterations, parent come out of the loop and print past iterations. You see, the past iterations is printed by the parent. Whereas the value of n for child is 30, so child will continue to iterate for 30 iterations. Till then, parent will go on wait system call and pause, and the child executes alone in this iteration. No. Earlier also you were saying this कि पहले parent run हो रहा है, parent child run हो रहा है. Neither parent nor child are programmed and designed to run before each other. Both are supposed to run simultaneously. Okay, who will run will depend on the scheduler. Scheduler is a program in operating system. Okay, it works like this. Suppose you people are programs and I am the scheduler. All of you switch on your microphone. Now, can you see my mouse? मैं जिसके नाम के आगे माउस बोलूँगा वो बोलेगा गुड मॉर्निंग. This is how scheduler works. Scheduler can arbitrarily give the processor to any process. Let's suppose I am the scheduler. So taking mouse over your name means allocating you time to speak. Okay. So whenever I took mouse over your name, you were speaking. So similarly, the scheduler is a program in operating system whose task is to allocate processor to the processes for execution. Whatever process is allocated with the processor by the scheduler, that particular process executes and rest wait. The scheduler can give processor to parent or child to any process, and to which it will give, we have no control over it. So therefore, either parent or child can execute. That depends on the scheduler, and there is no other rule. So who executes first is irrelevant. No. If the child executes before the parent process and finishes its execution before the parent process, still the child will give the exit code and return the exit code, which will be stored in some location. Because the location is not specified, then the exit code of the parent is captured, of the child process will be held up in the exit code of the PCB of the task structure. The task structure, every process, parent and child, have their own task structures. So the exit code will be held up there. Later on, the parent will give the wait call and specify a pointer which will point to a location where the exit code has to be captured. Then the exit code from the task structure will be fetched there when a wait call will be given. And this location is outside the stack segment and outside the data segment as well. It doesn't belong to either of the two segments. Yes, wait is a blocking call. Still it will try to wait, but it will see that the exit code of the child is available, so it will fetch the exit code and proceed further. So momentarily wait. That wait duration will be equal to the time taken to fetch the exit code of the child process. But saying that wait will become non-blocking call is not true. Okay, I'll show you where the exit code is held up in the child process PCB, child process task structure. This is the task structure, okay, where the attributes of the child process and the parent process and every process are kept. Inside this, there is field called exit code. The exit code is held up here. Another thing, since we came here, I would like to show you one more thing. Every process have two type of parents. One is the parent process, which is a pointer to the task structure of the parent process. Then another, there is a real parent, which is the pointer to the task structure of the parent process. Today I can tell you the difference between these two. Real parent is a parent that have actually given the forecall and created the child process. Initially the real parent and parent are same, but when the parent process terminates before the child process and system D adopts the child process, then the system D becomes the parent, actually foster parents, and the real parent is null when the real parent goes away. Okay. So this is how wait system call works. I hope everybody is able to understand the wait system call. If you have any doubts, any queries, you can ask me now. Can you repeat this query? Benny? Benny, can you repeat your query? Okay, tell me, Jagjit. CPID is the PID of the child, yeah? The wait will always return the PID of the child process that finished execution. And we have to capture it somewhere. And it will be captured in the variable of type PID underscore T. And that is what we have done. Yes, Benny, what was your query? There are, the question is, what is the difference between the real parent and the parent? The real parent is the parent that have created the child process using the fork system call. Initially, when the child process is created, then this, the PCB of the child process, contains the real parent and parent both, containing PID of the parent process that gave the fork system call to create the child process. Then, when the child process finishes execution and terminates before the child process, making the child process orphan, then the child process is adopted by the system D process. Then the system D process becomes the parent of the child process, whereas the real parent that created fork is now null. Pointer to the original parent process, pointer to the original parent process that gave the fork call. Only when the child becomes orphan, then the real parent becomes null and the parent becomes PID of the system D. Let us have a look at another program where we are trying to catch the exit code from the child through wait. Just like before, we create a child process. The child makes n is equal to 30 and the parent makes n is equal to 15. Both parent and child will iterate in this loop for 15 times. Parent will iterate 15 times and the child will iterate 30 times. After iterations, parent will come here past iteration, and the parent will see that the if PID will be true for parent, parent will go and wait. Okay. Pause. Then after 30 iterations, the child will finish iterations after 30 iterations, and child will come here, say PID of child, PID past iterations. This condition will be false for the child, and child will come here and child will say process terminating, and child will give the value of exit n. N is 0 now because it was decremented, and then it became 0. So this 0 will be returned back and the exit code 0 will be captured. Supposedly exit code, which is the return value of wait statement. No, pointer to the wait statement. Supposedly, let's try to capture it and see what happens. Okay. Yeah. Run. Both parent and child start execution. Both will go on for 15 and the parent and child 15 and 30 iterations respectively. After 15 iterations, parent will go to past iteration, and now parent is in wait state, pause state, on wait call. Then the child process is executing in the iteration, go on for 30 iterations. After that, the child will give the exit code, and the parent tries to capture the exit code, which is 0. Right? Not exactly. Let us see this. We are printing the exit code. Let us have some different exit code. suppose the value of n we have taken, and we assign, before going into the loop, we assign I is equal to n, which is 15 for parent and 30 for child, and unless I less than 0, I minus minus. So it is the I loop variable that we are altering actually. The n will not be altered. N will remain 30 for child and 15 for parent. So the child will effectively do give exit n. So child will give exit 30. Parent will also do exit. Parent will do exit 15. So let us execute this once again with the exit 30 for child. Both parent and child start their execution once again, and will iterate in the loop. Parent will iterate in the loop 15 times, and child will iterate in the loop 30 times. After 15 iterations, there it is. The parent will come out and say pass iteration. Now the parent goes into the wait system call, and because of the blocking IO, it pauses. Now the child continues its execution for 15 more iterations, and after that the child will give exit code 30, which is supposed to be captured by the parent process. But there you see the parent process catches some other garbage value. The reason is, if you remember just now, I told you a few times that the exit code that is given by the parent is given at some arbitrary location, which is not in stack segment and not in data segment. This exit code is neither in stack segment nor in data segment. Exit code is neither in stack or data segment. Okay, due to which any pointer cannot access it. Pointers can access only a stack segment and data segment. That is how the segments are prepared. The stack and the data segment are read only. Rest of the process context do not have read permission using any pointers. Therefore, you are not able to read. You end up reading garbage. So you cannot. Now to read the exit code, you'll have to use some macros. These macros are found somewhere else. Any of these reference. Skit. UAPI. There it is. WIF exited and WExit status. These are the two macros that we have to use to fetch the exit code of the child process. Okay. So these macros are what we need. These are called _W macros. Okay. Now let me explain you what this will do. Let us try to understand WIF exited first. WIF exited. WIF exited has to be fetched first. WIFE exited. So when I say WIFE exited means wife exited, suddenly Kamal ma'am is here. So let us see what to do. So macro is WIF exited. The WIF exited macro works like this. WIF exited macro will take status, that is reference to the exit code. We have given RET, a reference to exit code. Like for example, in our program we have taken RET as a variable, so you give RET variable name as RET. It will return 1 or 0. Okay. Now what does it do? It is used to check whether the child process exited normally or not. Okay. So it checks. It returns true. Means 1. If child process finished its execution, normally. Okay, means it has done its all work without any errors. If in case of abnormal termination, it returns 0. Okay, which will be treated as false. Okay, so in our process, after we are past iterations, the parent process will use these macros now in the next example. Here, when the parent process goes past iteration, then the parent process will go to wait, and when the process will come out of wait, it will use WIF exited. If the child process have executed and finished its execution normally without any errors, bugs, then it will return 1 for true. If it gives you true, then you will fetch the exit code of the child process using another macro called WExit status. That is this macro. WExit status. WExit status. Again, just like before, it will take a reference to exit code. Add example as example. It will return the exit code of child. Okay, so we are using it in our program that if the child process have exited normally, then we'll fetch the exit code of the child using wexit status ret as argument, and which will be returned and which will be printed here. So now we have taken exit code and n, two variables. Both exit code and n are assigned to 30 and 15 in the child and the parent process. N is reducing down to 0, but exit code EC variable remains constant. And when the child process return or exit, it will give you the exit code, which is 30 for the child. Let's try this. Are we able to fetch the exit code now? There it is. Both parent and child start execution, and they'll go for execution for 15 or 30 iterations. The parent finishes iterations, 15 iterations, and goes to pause, and child now iterate alone till 30 iterations. After 30 iterations are over, child will give the exit code, which will be captured by the parent process using WIF exited and WExit status together. There it is, exit code 30. It is no longer garbage. So I hope you are able to understand how WIF exited and WExit status both are used. Right? I will share this picture explaining everything with you today now. I'll share this picture with you, and after the class you will be able to see in the discussion forum here. Go to the category, which is 03 Linux System Programming, in which you will be able to see there are many threads created here, but these threads have not been assigned the process session detail. So I'll start here. This is session number 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Where process creation and duplication. No, duplication is fork. 3, 4, 5. Three dot 04.05. Okay, process management application. So under this here I will put image. You will, for your reference, you will be able to see it here. Okay, that's all I have for you today, and if you have any queries you can ask me tomorrow.